When Wuthering characters get released, they normally get shoved into a preset team, right? Zani with Phoebe and Spectral Frazzle, Cardathea with Chacona and a Rover. It's just nice when you see pieces come together, but Galbrena? Who the heck are her best teammates? Team building with Galbrena is in a super weird spot, and that's mainly because she's missing her Echo team members. This Echo set doesn't belong to anyone yet, so the state of Galbrena team building will get better in time, but it's going to be at the cost of brand new characters. My name is VoidEnigma, and let's learn about Galbrena's team options when she's released and which one is the definitive strongest. I'll be going over all of her available options when she gets released, and there's a ton of confusion on which teams actually work with her, so let's blaze through the team building and get to know more about Galbrena. Firstly, Galbrena is an Echo skill user, meaning that 2/3 of her kit is actually considered Echo skill damage, which is something that's completely new. She also uses a fair bit of heavy attack, so we can actually focus on buffing that. The other factors of increasing Galbrena's damage is to use 5 unique Echo skills. You can get 3 by just using any 3 characters, and only Cantarella is capable of giving another 2 unique Echo skill casts, as Cantarella is able to have 4 unique Echo skills. Not even Phrolova is capable of replicating this. Phrolova's Scarlet Coda does give 1 unique Echo skill cast, but without Cantarella, we are still at 4 out of 5 Echo skills used. A key note to look out for future characters is if they have something like, this skill is considered as casting an Echo skill. The reason why we even want to have these Echo skill casts is to buff Galbrena's enhanced resonance skill state, Demon Hypostasis. At 3 out of 5 Echo skill casts, we're only about 60% of the way to actually buffing her enhanced state. So any team not using Cantarella will be actually nerfing the demon state. It's not that much of a significant amount of damage that you'll be losing, but it's still something that helps. Just like how liking this video helps buff the channel. Now, this buff is significant because it buffs every single one of Galbrena's actions during this enhanced Demon Hypostasis state. But the issue with Cantarella is that she doesn't really buff Galbrena in any other way besides that. Cantarella, however, will be able to buff both Phrolova and Galbrena. While this won't be her best team, it is the most clean and functional one. Galbrena, Phrolova, and Cantarella. Cantarella will use her rotation, and in the process, she'll be able to use 4 unique Echo skills. Then, she can outro to Phrolova and use another Echo skill to complete her rotation, taking full advantage of Cantarella's outro buffs. And finally swapping to Galbrena, who will be able to receive the outro buff of 25% heavy attack damage amp, and her Afterflame will be full. You can activate her Forte and go to town, and then quickly swap back to Cantarella and then back to Phrolova to finish up and start things all over again. This rotation will feel very comfy and clean, and you'll be able to definitely clear the timer. It won't be doing the best overall damage, but it's still quite a suitable team. The best way to enhance the overall damage of this team is to fill up Galbrena's Sin Flame beforehand. That way, you can immediately activate her enhanced state and be able to do a ton of damage quickly, and then go back to Cantarella, where she'll be able to use her on-field time to actually activate Phrolova's Echo cast. It's just going to be a very great and comfy team. In the place of Phrolova, you can actually use any heavy attack buffer, and by any, I mean the only 2, Iuno and Mortefi. These 2 will buff Galbrena's heavy attack damage, and while it's not the majority of her damage, it still helps. The Phrolova team will be slightly better than I believe with Iuno or Mortefi, but if you use Iuno or Mortefi along with Shorekeeper, it'll be a much better choice, and then it kinda evens out. Instead of using Cantarella, you can use Shorekeeper so that the heavy attack buffer gets powered up as well, and you'll even be able to give some crit damage to Galbrena. Now, rather than focus on buffing the petty heavy attacks that she actually performs, you can buff all of her damage, and this next team is the definitive best team for a day 1 Galbrena. Lupa. Lupa is the fusion goddess, and her buffing capabilities are off the charts. The current monofusion team is Lupa, Changli, and Brant, but we can slot in Galbrena instead of Changli and get some massive buffs. 15% fusion damage ignore and a ton of other fusion buffs and attack buffs, and the outro from Brant will amplify all of her damage by another 20%. This will be her best team day 1, and we aren't able to cast 5 unique Echo skills. but Lupa's buffing capability for fusion units is just so insane that it kinda outweighs that. While the rotation won't be as smooth as with Changli, if you do play the standard rotation, then this team will outdamage the Changli team, at least in theory. Unless you actually start performing a few quick swaps, that is. What makes the Mono Fusion team with Changli so great is the quick swaps, and the damage output will be way higher with any combination of quick swaps when compared to the actions that Galbrena can do. Changli is an aerial unit, and that's what this team is all about. Galbrena, while she can do a few things like casting her Liberation in air, she's not really suited to be on the air, in the air that is. Another downside to this is that you must cast each character's Echo skill. And Lupa's Echo skill is easy to cast, but Brant's? Well, you generally never use the Tidebreaker Dragon because the Echo skill just kinda sucks. But you definitely do want to use it, so you'll probably be using it while quick swapping at the beginning of the rotation. Or you could just not use Brant and use someone like Shorekeeper. You do lose a few of the Mono Fusion buffs, and you don't even really lose the buff, they're just lower values, but in return, you get the crit damage and the crit rate from the Shorekeeper buff, along with a 15% damage amplification for the team. That's a pretty good trade-off, right? While the Mono Fusion team is quite impressive, it still isn't the best way to play Galbrena, and there may be a definitive buffer that will be released in the future. As far as Renacida is concerned, we still have Shui Yuan and Chisa left, and that special Echo set isn't being used currently, so one of them are gonna get it. Galbrena will have a glow up in the future, and eventually, she may get a team that actually trumps the Lupa variants. For now though, this is what we gotta work with. What Galbrena team will you be running? Let me know down in the comments. Go ahead and shoot that like button like I'm one of Galbrena's targets, and set ablaze that subscribe button while you're at it. That's the best way to support the channel, and we really need it to get back into relevancy, so just hit both those buttons. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been VoidEnigma out.